Hello? 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 Okay, wait, there's... Okay, is there sound now? Do we have any sound now? There should be some sound just coming up. Okay. How do we sound? Is it bad or is it good? Is it sounding bad or good? All right. All right, we're just gonna move forward with this. What's this? Uh-oh, I just shouldn't have done that. Okay, we're having some technical. Okay. All right, everyone. We're going to have to restart here from the beginning. Please don't mind my some background noises. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Daily BAAS Buzz. It is just after 7:20 p.m. here in Calgary, and we're sitting at 28 degrees Celsius with a high of 33 degrees and a low of 13 tonight. About 45% humidity. And tonight, let's do a celebratory before we jump into the story. Let's do a celebratory bee feed to oh my god, to the bees. So right now I'm gonna send them some feed right now. All right, we just gave some bees some feed. And coming up tonight, we're gonna begin with a swarm update, our rapid look at the biggest stories moving throughout Canada, Alberta, and rest of the world. In the Hive inspection report, we're opening up on Canadian tariff fight and asking the question that usually gets buried underneath all the political speech: who actually ends up paying the tariff? After that, it is time for sticky business, where fame, money, and questionable decisions all get stuck together. We have World Cup entertainment drama, viral celebrity moments, and latest stories produced by people with very expensive publicists. And finally, in our bee story of the day, scientists found that honeybees and mason bees can propel themselves across water and navigate towards darker areas that may help them locate the shoreline. We're going to be going into tariffs, international headlines, celebrity chaos, and swimming bees. My name is Bidzina, and this is the Daily BAAS Buzz. And tonight, we're separating the honey from the wax. Let's get right into the swarm update here. Our first story of the day: why Trump is threatening new 50% tariff on Canadian exports right now. Comment your thoughts right now in the chat of what you think about this tariff. Oh, let me turn that volume off. All right. Okay, so it may appear that the U.S. President Donald Trump let's zoom in here. I can't see anything. Donald Trump's move to hit Canadian products with 50% tariff came out of the blue. But here are clear signs what's driving the tactic. Monday's announcement comes as the U.S. pushes for significant changes to the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Agreement, CUSMA, changes that would lock any Canadian trade concession into text of trade deal. The Trump administration wants to wipe out as much as Canada's leverage in those CUSMA talks as possible. Some of that leverage comes from the 8 Canadian provinces banning the import and distribution of U.S. alcohol products. Since this is a rapid swarm story, we're not going to state too much detail on it, but this is we'll talk about full detail. So let's move on to the next story. Hetzeg says Iran has cost $37 billion so far, the Iran war. U.S. Pentagon Chief Pete Hetzeg is also pushing for more funding for the war. It comes as the U.S. military is striking Iran for the 11th consecutive night. DW News has the latest. Explosions reported in Tehran for the first time since latest escalations with Iran. Iran activated air defense systems over Tehran early Wednesday with explosions heard in the northeastern part of the capital, according to Iranian state media. U.S. launches the 11th consecutive night of strikes on Iran. And then Pentagon seeks billions more for the Iranian war. Now moving on to the next story. Construction to begin on a $2.9 billion Alberta natural gas pipeline after regulatory approval. Pipeline is expected to deliver more than someone's saying because he is unhappy about the forest fires. Okay. Is that someone in the comments said that Donald Trump is unhappy about the forest fires. Construction is poised to begin right away on new $2.9 billion natural gas pipeline in Central Alberta after provincial power regulators approved the Yellowhead project proposed by Canadian Utilities. It is expected to deliver over 1.1 billion cubic feet of natural gas, which company said is equivalent to what Alberta's entire electricity system delivers on peak day. Moving on to the next story. Private mission launches to extend life out of gas communication satellites. 2 armed space robots blasted off of a private salvage operation Tuesday afternoon to slap life-extending jetpacks on old satellite running low fuel on thousands of miles. It's the second satellite-saving mission to launch this month. Paramount Warner Bros. Must pause merger at least 2 weeks, judge says. 12 states sued to block a buyout, alleging such a merger would extinguish competition. A federal judge on Monday ordered Paramount, Skydance, and Warner Bros. Discovery to halt their $8.1 billion U.S. merger for at least 2 weeks, allowing states that are challenging the deal more time to see the case through in court. 12 states, led by California, sued to block Paramount pending buyout of Warner last week, alleging such combination would extinguish competition. Wow, I didn't even know about this. It's very interesting. So this is a critical first move in our case to ensure this mega merger never sees the light of day, California Attorney General Rob Bonta said in a statement following Monday's order. History tells the tale of what happens when few people have great power over markets that are central to American lives. Fewer opportunities for more people, worse products and services for all. Interesting. Just dumbfounding. Next story. Tornado damages buildings, homes in central Alberta. Brian Hansen was eating steaks and potatoes for dinner with his grandmother Saturday evening when they heard a whipping winds and prompting them to hide in the basement. When they returned upstairs, they saw a tin swirling in the air as tornado headed one way and in the other direction destruction it wrought. All buildings were gone, just ruined, Hansen said. and this is interesting. So there was a tornado in Alberta. Oh wow, look at these trees destroyed. Clearwater County, Northcott said tornado destroyed buildings, damaged homes, and tore down trees. He witnessed devastation nearing Leslieville. Oh wow. All right. Now, we're gonna go into the Hive report, a detailed report of the tariff story. So Canada weighs retaliation as Trump escalates trade war. This content is exclusive to subscribers. Well, look at this. You know, you were going to get a shout out, but now you're not going to get a shout out. So we're just going to... This is better. Here, okay, so the timeline of Donald Trump's trade war with Canada. All right, so Donald Trump was elected to the second term in 2024, obviously. And then in November, he pledged to impose 25%. He says in a post on Truth social media site he owns, that tariffs would remain until both countries would stop drugs, particularly fentanyl, and people from illegally crossing the American border, which has been a major issue, you know. So what I bet is just another Tuesday for folks down in Methbridge. Pretty just light wind by their standards. We have some commentators down there. So user Vahu till something 254. You are saying that I'm sure it's just another Tuesday for folks down in Methbridge, and then pretty wind. I'm not exactly sure. Do you mind elaborating, please? I'm just going to say VT2540. All right, so now in January 2020, it's an early sign of Trump's penchant or for changing timelines. He says on inauguration day that tariffs will likely come February 1st. February 1st, Trump signs an order Saturday imposing the blanket tariffs on 25%, virtually all goods entering the U.S. Okay, wait. Excuse me, folks. I'm just responding to comments in the chat here. And we have here, when you said there was a large tornado into Alberta. Well, it was central Alberta. So Lethbridge is southern Alberta, so they didn't have a tornado there, I don't think. Later, then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau outlines Canada's planned retaliation strategy, including immediate counter tariffs. Over the weekend, Canadian provinces start pulling American alcohol from liquor store shelves at provincially owned distributors. February 10th, Trump signs a plan to institute a new set of 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum entering the U.S. starting March 12th. Trump previously imposed tariffs on metals in 2018, but later exempted Canada and Mexico. On March 4th, Trump's tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods go ahead after a month-long pause. March 6th, Dominic LeBlanc, finance minister at the time, says Ottawa will suspend its second wave of retaliatory tariffs. March 10th, Ontario Doug Premier announces 25% surcharge on electricity exports to U.S. Trump responds aggressively, says he will double the rate on steel and aluminum. All right. Mark succeeds Trudeau. April 2nd, calling it Liberation Day, Trump unveils 10% tariffs on imports on all countries and higher rates. And yes, we all remember this. We can show Liberation Day and what it looked like. When he came out with that great big photograph. This is gonna try to make it so that everyone could see the tariffs. Oh, wow. All right. Then April 3rd. Okay, let's go to the meat and bones. Man, this is very detailed. And here we are, July 2026. July 1st, on the final day for all three signatories for the Kuzma Trade Deal Pact to extend the agreement for 16 years, the United States Trade Representative Jameson Greer says the country would not renew the agreement in its current form. It remains in place for now. July 20th, in a series of executive orders, Trump announces new 50% tariff on a range of specific Canadian goods, ranging from honey to hockey sticks to taking effect in 30 days. Unlike with fentanyl tariffs, this new round has no exemption for Kuzma compliant goods. With files from Associated Press. Interesting, this honey is very important to us beekeepers. And, Trump, there's another story, Trump from the Canadian Press, Trump seeking trade leverage over Canada with new targeted tariffs. U.S. President Donald Trump's latest escalation of this tariff campaign against Canada is narrowly focused and appears to be designed to give the United States more leverage in upcoming trade talks, some analysts argued. This is the thing is we have the issue with Canada is there's not a lot of playing cards that we have. So we have to be very careful. But the thing is, we are also a resilient economy. So even though we don't have a lot of things to trade with, the Canadian citizens can take a little hit in their pocketbooks, maybe more so than the Americans. I don't know. Even though they are a better, greater economy, GDP per capita or whatever, we have the ability to. On paper, it says we're the most indebted, but I think there's a lot of savings that doesn't get accounted for that people have. But, okay, we're just going to do a little comment break. If Donald Trump was a bee, he would build a tiny wax wall around the hive and make the wasps pay for it and then slap tariffs on their pollen anyway. Wow. That's hilarious. Should we do a little break with the bees? Let's break and see what's going on with the bees. Okay. Let me get out of the way here. See, I don't know why, and they're just clumping in this little corner over here. And let's give them a little bit of feed now. I'm gonna give them a little bit of feed. So they're just clumping into the corner here, and they're fanning their wings, telling their friends that there's some food and stuff. This one over here, you can see it's got the one got a little tongue out. Is there any questions people have about bees? Yes, yeah, them rich white folk that hoard their money. Yes, because they're too afraid. Look, he's doing a break with the bees because things got too controversial. No, that's not why we're doing a break with the bees. VT 254. We're trying to do a little bit of comedic relief. Do you guys have any questions about the bees and what do you think? I wish they were clumping on to the. That's right, Alomani one. They are so cute. I know. So, go around here. I'm like a part of the bees. Got a question. Why are the bees not eating all the honey at once? Well, they're like, they're just getting used to it. Yeah, the whole heart shape is filled with honey. It's like, they live for about 60 days, and half of that time is inside the beehive, and the other half they spend it outside. So really, they only are alive for 30 days. All right. Well, they're not eating all the honey. I'm not really exactly sure why they're not doing that, but all right. Now let's go back to the story. But I think, this is just, we don't want to get too caught up in this. It's just Trump is escalating this tariff war, and we should just move on to the next story. Well, it's not about affording. It's just that we have purple filament. This was 3D printed, but just the one last story that we're gonna go into. So 9 premiers agreed to lift interprovincial trade barriers on alcohol products. Let's see which are the premiers. Okay, so the premiers of 9 provinces announced Tuesday that they're removing major barriers to interprovincial sales of alcohol. The deal Yes. I'm getting distracted here by the comment section, everyone. I'm sorry. But yeah, we made it ourselves. Yep, it's made in-house. The 3D printed thing. The deal says the provincial rules will be changed to allow brewers and distillers to sell alcohol directly to consumers, regardless of jurisdiction. It knocks down a number of trade barriers across the country. Direct-to-consumer sales of beers, wine, and spirits manufactured in one province and shipped to another have been largely governed by agreements between provinces. All of the 9 provinces in Yukon signed a memorandum in June 2025 committing to open boundaries. Okay. The premiers of Quebec, Yukon, didn't sign the deal. See, it's always like, this is what I'm talking about, man. It's always some shit like this. Like, why did they not sign the deal? We're trying to fight as a united front against the US, and then we have the people in Quebec, which is a very major player in our economy, decides not to do interprovincial trade barriers lifted on alcohol products. They're just so freaking monopolistic. Tell me, folks, what do you think about Quebec and the way that they behave? I particularly don't think that this is good behavior. You know, we want a united Canada, and we have a question here in the comments. What does it mean for us where they deregulate the industry? It hurts. When they deregulate the industry, it hurts the customer more than it helps. So, so you think this is a bad thing to lift interprovincial trade barriers? One of the commentators thinks so. New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt says she's thrilled to see other provinces allow direct-to-consumer sales, noting her government was first to do so last August. Mind you guys, White Claw, a very popular drink in the United States, is Canadian. So we got a comment. North, I don't drink, ha ha ha. He says he doesn't drink alcohol, so he can't really comment on this. But this is how the Canadians can fight back. If we have a united front within the provinces, it can be done. Will it get rid of the quality control or the safety? From my understanding, is right now is provinces within Canada have trade barriers that doesn't allow us to sell alcohol and other consumer goods. But now they're getting rid of those tariffs. Wait, can we talk about the French Canadian women? Okay, all right. I'm moving on to the next story. Okay. Oh my God, they always freaking want you to pay money. Okay, now for our next segment, a sticky business. Robbie Williams pokes fun at the deeply unprofessional blunder in the World Cup show. Robbie Williams has responded after suffering a deeply unprofessional blunder during the World Cup. The 52-year-old British singer performed alongside Pussycat Doll Nicole Scherzinger and Italian singer Laura Pausini during the closing ceremony of the football showpiece on Sunday night. However, he also drew attention for appearance on German TV channel Magenta Sport, where he was speaking to pundits when he accidentally spat out a white object out of his microphone. This is him apologizing, looks like on Instagram. He picked it off and kept it in his hands before going to rub in his hand with an object and stick in his forehead. Let's get back to the bees. I'm from Bangkok, Thailand. That explains so much. Swada Pakai. Oh wow, we got a little bit chat going on in the we got some like chatter in the chat. And then yeah. Hello, we will go back to the bees after this first sticky business story. William breaks out laughing before the video cuts, captioning the Instagram post he wrote, "Just woke up and feeling mint." You know what? I honestly don't give a, don't give a freaking, I don't give a bee's knees about this story. I don't know why this story is in the mix. This is a bad story, and it should have been not in the mix. And I apologize for the viewers for wasting your time right now. Moving on to the next story. Before we do this, let's go to the bees. Just check on the bees and see what they're doing. OMG, what did he say? Did anyone else hear that? He just said the derogatory word against ethnic people. Come one, you wouldn't ever listen to this BS in real life. I didn't say anything. What did I say? I didn't say anything derogatory. But look at the bees. If you can see, they're eating little food and stuff. You know, they're doing their thing. Pretty cute. I should have my thing over here, so when I look at the bees, it actually looks I'm looking at the bees. Like right now, I can't see my screen, but the bees I can see. You know, hello everyone, welcome. Please comment down below. Feed the bees, and we can feed some bees. We're just in the Daily BAAS Buzz show, and you know, we're feeding bees. Comment, feed the bees to dispense food. Media talking about everything but the Iran war. I was just talking about it. We can also say, discuss Iranian women. Okay, we got, someone said feed the bees. All right, watch on screen right now, people. The bees, there's gonna food just going to dispense. You're gonna see it. Okay, that's just comment once, feed the bees. It's gonna dispense here. All right. Do you guys see the food coming out? We fed the bees. Okay, now back to sticky business. Justin Bieber exclusive World Cup after party turns into shirtless sing-along with Jalen Bronson, and man, honestly, I don't like the sticky business stories. But it's all pop culture stuff. We're just gonna. So Justin Bieber apparently was at the show for some reason. Oh, this is Tate McRae. Apparently she was there. She's from Calgary. Who's this? I don't know this person. Is this a new person? Who's this? Let's figure this person out. Tanea Taylor. I've never heard of this new person. Tanea Taylor is an American singer-songwriter. Her accolades include Golden Globe Award, 2 Critics' Choice Awards. And you might be wondering, why is this here? Well, this is our pop culture segment where we talk about sticky business, you know, and pop culture is part of culture. Can we look at what is happening in Myanmar? No one ever talks about that, and the media is very silent nowadays. You know what? We will interrupt sticky business to talk about Myanmar. Let's see what we got going on in Myanmar. Okay. Okay, we just dropped a bunch of viewers. Nobody wants, like, it's like really Myanmar. So we got some sort of the Kachi Independence Army attacks a military base in some sort of area, and then that begins. That was 2021. And then now we are here in, okay, so July 1st, Myanmar Air Force bombs the Army POW camp. The Tama doctor with the rank of captain and 3 military died. The Arkan Army reportedly captured 2 outposts near. Announced the barrage from Myanmar Navy ships hit the town. 4 rockets. Dude, is there video of this? Can we see any videos? All right, so we got a picture here. This is an old picture. Oh my god. It wants me to log in. It will just quickly log in just here. Just stay with me, people. We're gonna log in here. Free the people of Myanmar. I agree. Free the people of Myanmar. Yes. Yes. Okay, man. This is crazy. What is going on here? We're in a live show right now. Oh my god, I can't get it going. I want to see like videos of this, like because we're seeing so much videos in of Ukraine and all this stuff, but we don't see anything of the Myanmar conflict. You know, am I right or am I wrong? Hope for one day the Chinese Communist Party no longer supports the Myanmar military dictatorship. All right. That's an interesting. Look at this. Burned structures. You know, the Myanmar war was not on our bingo list tonight. You know, I hate websites that make you log in to do stuff. It's so annoying. You know, because just let me use your site, and if I use it enough where I'm like hooked, I'm gonna create an account. Stop forcing me. Like, what's going on here? It's like I can't even log in. It's just so annoying. Okay, here we go. We were able to log in. What do you think about Daniel Smith? The Premier of Alberta, Daniel Smith? Is that who you mean? I'm assuming that's who you're talking about. Daniel Smith is a traitor to the people. Oh, wow, look at this. Bill Clinton. The free press is critical to free society. The Reuters journalist. Like, why do we have stories from 2018, man? Oh my god. This is why I always hated Twitter. Or X or whatever it's called. Myanmar latest I'm convinced she's been replaced by reptilian. Yes. No, he means the girl you keep trying to hook up with. Yes, he means Danielle Smith. All right. Well, we don't have to be rude. We don't have to be rude, you know. I was just asking a follow-up question. Did you know it's the most call? Oh, wow. I don't know, man. I can't really find much about this Myanmar crisis. So we're just going to go back to sticky business. Okay, so in other news, Will Smith's former friend Bilal Salam asks him to testify in a lawsuit against Jaden Pickett Smith. Will Smith's name is being dragged into the legal battle between his ex, Jaden Pickett Smith, and his former friend, Bilal Salam. Salam, a brother, known as Brother Bilal, is seeking Oscar winner testimony in his lawsuit against his wife, who he accuses of orchestrating a smear campaign against him after alleged confrontation at Smith's birthday party in 2021, according to court documents updated by E-News. Oh, man, this just doesn't stop, man. This drama here with these two people does not stop. You know what? Like, I used to love this guy. This was my, hero. And they freaking took him and mutilated him and ruined him. And now I can't watch any movie of Will Smith without thinking, you know how much I like Bad Boys? I watched the movies. I played the video games on the PS2. I used to have his voice echoed in my head, and now I can't even look at his face. It's just like, and now he's gonna sue his wife. It's horrible. All right, now let's move on to the next story. This is coming from 24 Euro, some Slovenian website. A crowd of almost 2 million welcomed the world champions in Madrid. The Spanish national football team returned home after winning the World Cup to a grand welcome on the streets of Madrid. It is estimated that almost 2 million fans attended the celebrations to greet their football heroes. And here we got some photography from the day. And like, look at the little celebrations and stuff. Oh my God. Can you imagine being here? It's insane. We got somebody here, Spanish celebrities. Another one, Anna Mia. Who's Anna? Anna Mena? Anna Mena is a Anna Mena. Who is she? Looking pretty interesting in my opinion. Wow, this is a new chick. I've never seen her. It's a Spanish singer-songwriter. Wow. Incredible. She got brunette hair. And then look at this is I guess this is the Spanish coach. He's doing some crazy stuff. He's singing. I don't know what he's doing. Looks like he's singing. But this is the Spain won. Continues to follow the footstep of his golden generation, which won 2 European championships and 2 in the World Cup. Wow. All right, now let's check on the bees again and see what's going on. They're not as interested in as I would like to be, as I would like for them to be, but it is what it is. Now we're going to move on to our bee story of the day. Bee swimming is adaptive but disrupted by insecticides or whatever. So we have an article here from nature.com. Bee swimming is adaptive but disrupted by insecticides. And this is your bee story of the day, everyone. A unique type of locomotion was recently discovered that honeybees could propel their own body on the water surface by keeping their upper wing surface dry while moving their wings. You know, and I've kind of witnessed them. If we just go into a bee view right here, and occasionally let's do a little squirt and let's fill up the entire bowl with some food so we can kind of watch them swim. You know, we can watch this now. So as you can see, the food bowl is being filled up, and we're going to get a nice full here. And if you can see, sometimes occasionally a bee will land on it and they will do this swimming motion that they talk about. So let's go back to this. Oh, there we go. Do you see how it's kind of swimming, that one? Just gliding with its wings. But keeping its like upper body dry. Now let's go back to this full story again. So, however, it was not clear whether such locomotion behavior was ecologically meaningful. Here we show that the honeybees preferred dark regions while hydrofoiling on water surface in trying to reach the edge. However, this scototaxis was was disrupted by neonicotinoids and insecticides via reducing the honeybees' motor control. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments at the same time here. I gotta go to sleep, gotta go to work early tomorrow. All right, see you tomorrow, VT. Nice speaking with you. Thank you. I hope to see you tomorrow. Via reducing the honeybees' motor control. Finally, we show that the mason bees was also displayed scototaxis, showing a significantly stronger preference for darker than honeybees. The female mason bees exhibited higher efficiency than male swimming, as indicated by their shorter durations and distance. These findings suggest that swimming behavior in bees evolved before socially and services important adaptive and ecological functions. However, environmentally, pollution from excessive pesticides use may negatively impact their behavior. This is a very weird story that was found. So, scototaxis. So what is this scototaxis? If we just search up. Scototaxis is a behavioral response where organisms orient and move directly towards darkness or shadows, derived from the Greek word skotos, darkness. Wow, this is very... Honeybees showed preference for darker during swimming. So we just have here. So experiment 1, honeybees showed a preference for darker during swimming. And then we have experiment 2, scotos and honeybees are disrupted by insecticide. So they could not find it. Looks like they were going in the wrong direction. And then stronger, a solitary bee species showed also stronger scotosis than honeybees. Honeybees demonstrate adaptive behaviors that enable them to survive and prosper in dynamic environmental conditions. These include the waggle dance, which facilitates effective communications regarding food location, and well-defined division of labor enabling colony organizations and efficiency. In those studies, all flatbugs and most ant species showed a preference towards a dark subject, a behavior called scototaxis. In ants, there is a strong evidence that scototaxis will help ants escape from water. Thus, it is an adaptive trait. When ants' eyes were painted, most ants failed to show scototaxis. Traits in solitary species might be enhanced or weakened in social species. This is very interesting. So the results: honeybees show preference to dark area. Rayleigh tests showed that honeybee workers fed with sugar spiked with 0.06% acetone as a control because insecticides was preferred in the same amount of is prepared in the same amount as us, showed significantly different distribution from random in their landing position. Wow. So it just disrupts their complete navigation. And their exposure was disrupted during swimming behavior by honeybees. You see, this is so. Mason bees also show preference to dark area, and female mason bees have stronger swimming abilities than honeybees. Both male and female mason bees showed a significant different distribution from random in their landing positions. So let's see here. So let's just analyze this picture. Just 1 second, it's just loading. All right, so we have bee swimming is adaptive, but disrupted by insecticides. So bees, so in this first one, we have honeybees, sugar only. And expected, so percentage of bees landing in the dark area, expected honeybees, wow. And then mason bees, and so this is, do we have figure when they use this stuff? Oh, okay, this is expected acetone. Yeah, this is a very, so experiments, so what was the conclusion? So we use a single photo to measure the angle between the bee and the left side. But what is the conclusion? No, thank you. About this article, discuss results. So there you go, people. Honeybees show preference to the dark area, which is you know, I've seen. We always wonder, how do what's inside of a beehive? And inside of a beehive is completely dark. You know, if we were to go inside of here, if I'm just going to do a big full view now, so this entrance that they're going inside, in and out of, if we were to go small and go inside of there, what we would see is complete darkness. And somehow they're able to navigate. Light does not harm them, but it's not something that they need to navigate. So that concludes our ending, and let's watch the bees here. Well, I'm just collecting my thoughts. Any last questions? Oh wait, so someone says, "Wow, how?" So let's find that out. Actually, how do honeybees see in the dark? So honeybees do not see well in the dark and generally do not fly at light. Their compound eyes, made of thousands of tiny lenses, are adapted for bright daylight. Without sunlight, their portalized patterns for navigation, they lose their spatial references, cannot find their way. Inside a completely dark hive, bees rely on other highly developed senses to complete tasks like building comb and caring for food. Vibrations. Bees communicate complex information and directions by vibrating their bodies and feeling the resulting movements through wax comb. Antennae. Their antennae are highly sensitive organs used to smell, taste, and feel, and their surroundings in total absence of light. And their oculi. Honeybees have three small, simple eyes, oculi, on top of their heads. These eyes cannot form images, but are highly sensitive to sudden changes in light, and help them detect general brightness and movement. While standard honeybees are strictly day flying, some specialized tropical bee species have adapted to fly at dusk, dawn, or even pitch black conditions. These nocturnal bees have evolved with exceptionally large compound eyes and oculi to collect as much as moonlight as possible. Wow, interesting. So we're getting a comment here, feed the bees. So let's feed the bees. We're going to feed the bees here. Let's give them another feeding. Let's do just the bee view. All right. There we go. We fed the bees. It's leaking out somewhere, dude. Can't figure out where though. So we fed the bees, and look at them. You know, I wish they were more on it. I don't know why, but they're not attracted to it as like much as I would like them to be. But hopefully we can get that fixed. All right, let's see what people are saying in the comments. Feed the bees. Did you see the bees get fed? So we're now at pretty much the ending here, and we've moved through tariffs, international headlines, celebrity drama, a scientific discovery that even bees can find themselves in unfamiliar situations, and now we're on to the Queen's verdict. Thank you to our silent co-hosts who have reviewed, who did not review tonight's program, but they're here anyways. The bees, as our, just our sidekick. Thank you for everyone for watched, commented, and joined the conversation tonight. Remember to subscribe, share the live stream so we can continue to grow the Daily BAAS Buzz. Follow us at Beekeeping Service on Instagram, and visit us at beekeepingservice.ca to learn more about bass. Again, it's Beekeeping Service, all one word, .ca. Professional hive care for the world of honeybees. I'm Bidzina, and this has been your Daily BAAS Buzz, where we separate the honey from the wax. Take care of yourselves, take care of your bees, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone. Wait, I'm sorry, I don't want to end it here, but we got a commentator. Someone says, they'll get hungry. Where are the drone bees? Good streams, thank you for the honey, it's delicious. Okay, thank you, everyone. Again, I'm going to say it again. I've been Bidzina, and this has been your Daily BAAS Buzz, where we separate the honey from the wax. Take care of yourselves, take care of your bees, and I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Good night, everyone.